Chapter 1: The Last Town on the Map. In the fall of 2025, Daniel Harper was doing work that interested almost no one. By the age of 36, he had worked as a journalist, a documentary filmmaker, and even a private researcher of old archives. His specialty was forgotten stories, the ones nobody remembered anymore. Most people considered it a strange hobby. Daniel thought otherwise. He was certain that the most interesting mysteries begin exactly when everyone else stops asking questions. That evening, it had been raining for hours. The small house on the outskirts of Ash Creek was plunged into twilight. The only source of light was the desk lamp over the workspace. An old map lay before Daniel. The map was dated 1998, a regular regional map. Rivers, forests, roads, small towns. Blackwater, North Haven, Ravens Mill, Ash Creek, and one more settlement, Grayford. Daniel ran his finger over the name. A small town among the forests. Nothing special, if not for one problem. It didn't exist on modern maps at all. It had vanished. Daniel zoomed in on the satellite image on his monitor. Where Grayford was located on the old map, today there was only forest. A dense, dark forest. No roads, no houses, no traces of a settlement. He checked again, then again, and again. The result didn't change. The town was missing. It made no sense. Towns don't just disappear. They can become abandoned, they can crumble, they can turn to ruins, but they don't disappear from maps entirely, especially if people lived in them. Daniel opened the county archive. The 1997 census. Grayford. Population 1,842 people. Existed officially. He opened the next document. Tax records. Grayford. Existed. School registry. Grayford. Existed. Police station. Grayford. Existed. The documents were real. Too many documents. Too many traces. Too much proof. But the town itself was gone. Lightning flashed outside the window. For a moment, the office was illuminated by a cold white light. That was when Daniel's gaze fell upon the envelope. It had been lying among his mail for several days. No stamp, no return address, just a white envelope. He hadn't paid attention to it before. Now, for some reason, he wanted to open it. Inside was a photograph. Old, taken with a film camera. The picture showed the main street of Grayford. Under the photo, someone had written in pen, "They are still there." Daniel frowned. He flipped the photo over. On the back was a date, November 19, 1998, 12 days after the official disappearance of the town. His heart squeezed unpleasantly. If the date was real, it meant only one thing. Someone was in Grayford after the town had been found empty. He looked at the photo again. Empty street, empty cars, closed shops, no people. And only now did he notice a detail. In one of the second-floor windows, someone was standing. A blurry silhouette. A person. Daniel sharply zoomed in on the image on his computer. The quality was bad, very bad. But there was almost no doubt left. There really was someone in the window. He was looking right at the photographer. At that moment, a sound echoed through the room. Quiet, almost inaudible. A crackle. Daniel turned his head. The sound was coming from an old radio receiver that had been sitting on the shelf for many years. It wasn't plugged in. It didn't work. It shouldn't have been working at all. The crackle repeated. Then again. Daniel slowly stepped closer. Noise came from the speaker. Interference. Static hiss. And then a voice. Very faint, as if from a huge distance. Can anyone hear me? Silence. Daniel froze. The voice returned, clearer this time. If anyone hears this. A long pause. Hiss. Crackle. And the last words. Don't come to Grayford. The connection cut off. Silence fell over the room once again. Only the rain continued to drum against the glass. Daniel slowly looked at the photograph, at the silhouette in the window, and for the first time in the entire investigation, he felt true fear. Because he suddenly realized one thing. Perhaps the town hadn't vanished at all. Perhaps it still existed. Somewhere out there, in the middle of the forest. Before we continue, let's look at 5 B2 words from this chapter. Word. Pronunciation. Definition in English. Example from the text. Specialty. A particular area of work or study that someone is an expert in. His specialty was forgotten stories. Plunged. Suddenly fell or moved downwards into something, often darkness or water. The small house was plunged into twilight. Crumbled. Gradually fell apart or broke down into pieces, often over time. They can turn to ruins. They can crumble. Silhouette. A dark shape or outline of a person or object against a lighter background. A blurry silhouette. A person. Inaudible. Too quiet or too faint to be heard clearly. Quiet. Almost inaudible. A crackle. 2. The archivist. The next morning, Daniel arrived at the Ash Creek County Archive. The elderly archivist, Harold Kane, had worked here for almost 40 years. When Daniel showed him the photo from the envelope, the old man's face instantly changed. Where did you find this? Someone sent me the picture. Harold stared at the photo for a long time. Then he asked for a magnifying glass. He was silent for a few minutes, examining the blurry second-floor window. "Do you see anyone here?" Daniel asked. "Maybe. A man? I don't know. A woman? I don't know. Then what do you see?" Harold slowly placed the photo on the desk. "I see a problem." Daniel frowned. The old man opened an old archive folder. On the cover, it read, "Grayford Police Evidence." Inside lay dozens of documents. Among them was another photograph. The same house, the same window, the same angle. But the picture was taken much closer. What is this? A police copy. The photo was taken after the town's disappearance. Daniel carefully picked up the picture. Now the silhouette was truly distinguishable. It was a child, a girl, looking about 10 years old. She was standing motionless and looking right into the camera lens. A chill ran down Daniel's spine. Who is she? Harold shook his head. Nobody knows. But you keep the town's archives. Yes. Then there should be a list of residents. There should be, the old man chuckled. But there isn't one. What do you mean there isn't? It disappeared. Certain documents from Grayford started going missing a few months after the investigation. School archives, medical records, photographs, parts of the police file, as if someone was gradually erasing the very fact of the town's existence. Daniel looked at the girl again. And no one could identify her? No. Not even the police? Especially the police. After those words, Harold closed the folder and then asked a question. Have you dreamt of the town yet? Daniel lifted his head. What? Grayford. No? Then it's still too early. For the first time during the entire conversation, Daniel felt true discomfort. What are you talking about? But Harold had already turned away to look out the window. Find Ella Morris. Who is that? The last person who claims to have seen Grayford after its disappearance. Where does she live?
Harold wrote an address on a piece of paper and then added, "If she agrees to talk, ask her about the light in the forest." What light? The archivist looked him right in the eyes. The one that appears where the town no longer is.
Now, let's look at 6 B2 words from this part of the story. First, vanished. It means disappeared completely. The town had vanished from the map. Second, census. This is an official count of people living in a place. The 1997 census showed 1,842 people in Grayford. Third, illuminated. It means lit up. The office was illuminated by lightning. Fourth, frowned. It means showed confusion or displeasure with your face. Daniel frowned when he saw the photo. Fifth, squeezed. It means pressed tightly. His heart squeezed unpleasantly. And sixth, hiss. It's a soft, sharp sound like static. He heard a hiss from the radio.